Hello, this is Mrs. Thomas, and today we're going to review your PSAT results. So you should have your PSAT results and your test booklet in front of you at this time. If not, teachers, will you please distribute these materials? You will see from this slide that there are four major parts of your PSAT results that we're going to review. Your scores, your skills, your answers, and then we're going to talk about the next steps that you can take. And there also were three test sections, as you remember: the critical reading, the mathematics, and the writing skills. For critical reading, you'll see this person's score was 50. So for critical reading, and you can actually see your projected SAT score when you go to My College Quick Start. But for this example, there are some ranges that it demonstrates that you would have had scored on any given day from 46 to 54, and that you scored higher than 55% of the juniors. So when you look at this information as a sophomore, you are being compared to juniors. The PSAT for juniors is what is based for the National Merit Scholarship competition. So based upon your scores, you'll see this little box in the middle that basically says the National Merit Corporation scores and your selection index, and that is what qualifies you for National Merit Scholarships. It shows that the selection index is the sum of your critical reading, mathematics, and writing scores. If it has an asterisk, you do not meet all of the eligibility requirements for competition. So you have to be a high school student. You have to be completing, yes, to complete high school and enroll in full-time college, and you have to have spent 4 years in grades 9 through 12 and be a U.S. citizen. So again, if your selection index places you among the 55,000 scores, you'll be notified next September that you qualify for National Merit Scholarship. This number is usually a selection index over 200, of at least over 200. So let's talk about what you can really gain a lot from this PSAT score report. It actually talks about your skills, and you'll see in this section it talks about what your strengths are as well as what your weaknesses are. And this is something that you should pay close attention to. So as you look at the detail of your skills, you'll see that basically there's a strength and weaknesses and how you did on the questions and how many you got right and how many you admitted for the critical reading portion, the math portion, and then also the writing portion. So as you go and you make an SAT plan to maybe review these questions on My College Quick Start, it will actually give you questions based on the ones that you struggled with. So you don't have to review everything that you know, you just have to review what you do not know. And then as you can see, it actually goes through each portion again, critical reading, math, and writing skills, and gives you your answers compared to the correct answers and the level of difficulty. So for each question, you can kind of look at the level of difficulty. You can see what the correct answer was, and you do have the test booklet so that you can go back and you can review that information. Again, this just gives you a little bit more detail, the correct answer again, and then when you go into My College Quick Start, it will give you actually an explanation of the answer and so forth. So you can, again, look at the ones you missed and go in and try to review that to help you prepare for either the PSAT next year or the SAT. Here you can see also your answers in the student-produced responses. So in the bottom you can see what your answer was and what the correct answer was. Okay, important scores to keep in mind. The Indiana Department of Education has determined what scores represent college and career readiness. So you will see, and this is not something you're going to see on your score report, because this is something directly from the Indiana Department of Education, that for 10th grade, scores of 42 and below on critical reading and math represent that it does not appear that you are college and career ready. And for 11th graders, there are scores of 46 and below on critical reading and math that represent that by the state that you may not be college and career readiness. So for 11th grade students who score 46 or below are required to take an additional test called the AccuPlacer. And some of you in 11th grade you may remember taking this test last year. So just something to keep in mind, that if you are in this range of 42 below and you're a 10th grader, or 46 below and you're an 11th grader, that you might want to go on the Quick Start and pay attention to reviewing what you're struggling with, because this is an important tool that helps us measure success in college and certificate programs, two-year colleges, and so forth. And possibly if you are in this range, you may need some additional remediation, and that's something that we'll be looking here to provide here at school too. So again, this is just something important for you to know, that you might go on and look at the My College Quick Start. Make sure you're reviewing your questions and answers here and spending some time figuring out what your weaknesses are. So you'll see on the bottom of the next steps, on the bottom of your score report, that you'll get an access code, and it'll tell you where to go to collegeboard.org Quick Start. And so that's something that actually in some of your classes you'll be doing that, but this access code is reporting that you keep this information so that you can get in to the My College Quick Start. So what can you do on My College Quick Start? Well, you can actually search for colleges. You can get a personalized SAT study plan, and we talked about that before. It will actually take what you need to know and actually create a plan for you to study for the PSAT, SAT, and so forth. It'll also let you take a personality test to find majors and careers that fit you, and it'll also take a look at what your AP potential is. So as you look at this and you schedule for classes next year, you'll actually be able to review some classes that might be good for you based upon how you scored on the PSAT. So again, we also had Naviance to use as you've been on and look for colleges and do the personality test. So this is just another tool that you can use also. So I'm going to go through some of these slides pretty quickly, because again, the one that we want you to probably pay more attention today than anything is that My SAT study plan and possibly the My AP Potential. Now with My AP Potential, we'll also be providing in a letter that information and send it home about what classes that would be possibly good for you from an AP perspective, but we really want you to look at that My SAT study plan. So again, as you go to My College Quick Start, this is some of the things you're going to see. You're going to actually be able to see your online score report, and it'll show you those projected ranges that we talked about. Basically, when you add a 0 to your PSAT score, you get the projected SAT score range. So in this case, it would be 530, and your range, as we talked about before, on any given day would be a 490 to a 590. Again, on your score report, it'll give you the state percentile, so it'll tell you based upon the state you scored higher or lower. Higher, it will always say, than 63% of the juniors in your state. So actually that will give you that information. And then as you can see, you can actually filter your answers by the skills. All those ones that we talked about on the score report, where it showed the different skills that are rated, and then also by the level of difficulty. So if you just want to go in and look at math and want to look at the level of difficulty, you can do that. And here, this gives you actually an example. Reasoning and understanding literacy elements. It total the questions, total correct, and your performance. So that's something that you probably wouldn't want to spend a lot of time on based on the results. And again, these are the things that you're going to see on My College Quick Start. Actually, we'll go into My Skills Feedback and go into more detail about like it says, select a skill with lower performance bar and review the test questions you answered incorrectly. Then try the question again and read the answer explanations. So again, this gives you a lot of detail just specific to you. And again, review and practice. It'll actually come up with SAT practice questions based upon certain criteria that you give it. And then here you can see that you can basically go in and take an official SAT practice test. So you can, again, take a new test just like you would for the PSAT. And then you can enter your answers online. You'll get a score report. Again, you can review where you improved and so forth and compare it possibly to the PSAT plan that you just did. Okay, and just some of the other tools briefly that we talked about that you can do in My College Quick Start. My Personality, we'll do a personality test, description of your type, tips for success, and major in careers that might be a good fit for you. So I would encourage you, these are the two, the Naviance and then the My College Quick Start, that we really encourage you to use. You know, I think it's great to do them both, see if they should come out fairly comparable. Again, it talks a little bit about the type of, you know, the type of personality that you have. And again, I get some careers that might be appropriate for you. Great tools to use as you're exploring careers. Again, also has some My College matches where you can go in, similar again to Naviance, and actually look at, you know, different criteria and search based upon different options to look at various colleges. Also, My Majors and Careers. So again, based upon the questions that you answered and so forth, you can look at different careers that may be appropriate for you. Okay, we talked about this a little bit before about My AP Potential. This is going to be based upon your PSAT scores, courses you're likely to succeed in, courses that match majors you're interested in, and courses that were offered at your school. So actually the courses that we had offered last year are in there. And so you can see when you go on, now you're only going to see this on My College Quick Start, potential, some potential, and then potential not yet indicated. So please, as you go through this, talk to your counselor about these results and your teachers and so forth, and look at these AP classes. They may not, even though you, they may not all be right for you, but it's something for you, again, another tool for you to look at as you're going through the scheduling process. Again, here is an idea of what you're going to see. For each course, you'll see, again, potential, matches major, and your school offers this course. Okay, again, to kind of summarize this, you want to look for courses where you have potential, where it matches your major, and obviously it's got to be offered at the school. Now, I think you know, and you're going to hear this in the scheduling presentation, there are a lot of new opportunities at Fishers High School next year with the College and Career Academy opening. So make sure that you go to the course curriculum guide online and look at all that information. We'll be talking about it some in the presentation that you're going to see on scheduling today. But again, please go and look at that detail, because lots of opportunities, and this is such a good resource for you to be able to go look at classes, look at you know, your potential, look at different careers, and kind of key into some opportunities that we offer here at Fishers High School, either through AP classes or through dual college credit classes, or through some outside, you know, construction programs, JEL, lots and lots of opportunities. So this is really a good time for you to focus on this. Again, for those students who were in that range that we talked about, the Occuplacer, which is 42 and above 42 and below for 10th graders, and 46 and below for 11th graders for the critical reading and math portion. Please, take a look at, again, creating a plan, an SAT study plan, so that you have the opportunity to go in and look at those weaknesses and improve those scores, because it will make a big difference. Not only what you need to do here at school, but also when you're taking the SAT and you're looking at your long-term college or career plan. So again, the tools are great. Use the opportunities. Please share this information with your parents. Don't throw this in the bottom of your backpack and not take it home. There will be a parent night on Tuesday night, which will be the 13th, that was canceled from the weather last week. So make sure that you share that with your parents, or sky alerts and so forth going out, that Mrs. Brown will be reviewing these results with your parents. So this is a great opportunity for you to give this information to your parents, and they can bring it to the meeting, and they can have an understanding of what all these results mean also. So if you have questions, again, ask your teachers. Please make a appointment to see your counselors. Your counselors will all be calling you down in the next 6 weeks or so to do your schedule for next year. So again, I can't emphasize, please use these tools in order to facilitate that process. Thanks so much for your time. And again, if you have further questions, please ask your teachers or your counselors. And again, write this website down. I think it's also on your score report. And write that access code down, maybe in your assignment notebook or something that you bring on your phone or on your tablet or whatever, so that you have this information, because teachers will also be using this information and have you get into Quick Start. And it just makes it a lot easier if you have this information available.